I extend a warm welcome to you all to Skill Kerala Global Summit 2025. In an era defined by rapid technological shift, skilling is no longer a supplement to education. It is the engine of economic progress and inclusive growth. The Skill Kerala initiative envisions a future where every learner has access to opportunity. Every institution is connected to industry, and every skill aligns with both local relevance and global demand. Skill Kerala, the global summit, is a dynamic confluence of skill, innovation, employment, and entrepreneurship. The clear ambition of this summit is to build a seamless bridge from education to employability, foster industry academia partnerships, create awareness about the evolving world of work, and to identify job opportunities and skill requirements. With this, let us begin the proceedings at Innovation Bay. Our first session is Opportunities in Abroad. Let me invite the speakers onto this dais. Our first speaker, Mr. Abi Abraham, Executive Director, Promtech Global. Mr. Abi Abraham is a seasoned entrepreneur and corporate leader with over 2 decades of experience in the insurance and business support service sector. Welcome, sir. Next up, Dr. Ajaya Kumar, Chief Operating Officer, Emercom. Hailing from Cherpur, Thrissur in Kerala, Dr. Ajay Kumar is a distinguished management thinker, author, art curator, and speaker, currently serving as the COO of Emircom, a GCC-based ICT integration company. Thank you so much for being here with us. Over to you, sir.
Hello, good morning, everybody. I think we don't have a moderator today. It's only me and Mr. B. So we will make it like a chat session, right? Yeah, discussion. We both are from UAE, and I think having spent nearly 25, 30 years, 3 decades, yeah. And our topic today is opportunities abroad. Opportunities abroad for a state like Kerala means opportunities in Gulf, like majority of the Keralites of till the last generation who are working, and this generation maybe they are going abroad, other foreign European countries, other US. So, what's your experience like? How was it when you first migrated to UAE, and then how was the opportunities then and now?
Yep. For me, as Dr. Ajay said, we will handle this as a chat kind of conversation kind of a session, since we don't have moderator for this, right? So when I reached abroad or in UAE, so the situation now is, had a lot of changes, right? Now we are living in an artificial intelligence era, and my point of view is now the jobs are more skill based than a location based, right? And any organization from anywhere can hire from anywhere. That is a kind of technological advancement was happening nowadays. The tools has been developed in such a way to speak or without a language barriers. We can directly translate to any language. So which is giving a big opportunity for the current youth and companies. At the same time, it is creating a lot of challenges. We have to really work on our competency level to compete with the world. The company, they wanted to hire a particular skill. Let's say a company based in San Francisco or Manchester. They wanted to hire a particular skill, and they can hire from India, and they can hire from South Africa, they can hire from anywhere in the world, and they can connect with the employee in a very easy way. So this gives an opportunity for our youths to be stay in local and work globally. So that is a kind of an opportunity the technology is bringing up nowadays. But the situation where we reach, the situation now is really changed. That's what my point of view in
I
this.
would, I would just like to add one more thing. Like we always say that, or we always are in comparison with the global standard. Instead, I believe that our standards are not as low, or instead of that, we should actually be thinking towards how can our Indian education system or system or the knowledge system can lead the global scenario. Today we are, 90% of the top tech companies, CEOs are Indians, even the finance sector. So you see, and most of them are coming from the Indian education system. Even my daughters, both of them, they were initially into the CBSE system, and then they moved on to the UK curriculum, and finally they ended up in doing graduation in UK. But having seen both the systems, I feel that our system is more of a knowledge based till the 12th, and we continue the knowledge based even for our graduation. So that's where I think we always speak about skill based education system, but we are only there. Even the universities, we have a knowledge based system, whereas the European or American systems are more towards practical based approach. Even in the colleges and also in the school. So how do we change this?
I 100% agree with Dr. Ajay. I have the similar experience. My kids also initially started with the CBSE curriculum in Dubai, and then later on I moved them to British curriculum. So there, which I felt was my elder son, my younger son was now in grade 7. So when he was, I think 3 years back, he did a presentation for me to present me in the office. Now I was used the same presentation in my office, and I told my colleague also this is created by my younger son. He was at, I think, fourth or fifth grade at that point in time. So the way the education system has been taken care by it's not in India and abroad, us definitely it's more into a practical oriented than a text oriented education system, which definitely I believe it's helped the kids to develop their practical skill set. The practical skill set to face probably into the job market kind of an atmosphere they come, rather than to go into the text oriented the system. It's practical oriented system will definitely more help to them to face the reality of their the work atmosphere when they reach to the work atmosphere. I think I support that. Our of course CBSE and another institutions has started kind of a skill development program, but now the Kerala is also organizing this kind of events. The employable population from our students has really increased in terms of skilling, the coaching of skills at the student level itself. That is very important to be prepare them for the facing the job market in their career. That is absolutely, I stand with Dr. Ajay's point, and we have to frame our education system, or we have to coach our students to face the realities of employment, the real employment.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have our third speaker joining us here on stage, Mr. Zaid Sundran Pillai, Managing Director, ALT Consulting.
So, Mr. Jayachandran, just to bring the view up to the speed. So, we were thinking about, when talking about like how do we implant a skill-based system, and instead of accusing or putting all this on governments, how the local bodies, even individuals like us, can contribute to this. I was saying that even my organization, which is based in Abu Dhabi, whenever we recruit talents from India, especially the freshers, we face challenges that at least 1 year, 2 years, we need to put them on training, because most of the technology companies, they have their own system of training. So either it has to be either adopted by the local authorities or even companies like us or the multinational companies. They are all willing to invest in talents. They are ready to start training centers here, so that at least 1 or 2 years of uh, bond that they will work with such companies. That will help to build this gap, fill this gap. So, what's your take on that?
So basically, I think on an individual basis, I think from my experience as being in this industry for the last 26 years into recruitment and staffing, these things every individual as such has to take initiative and reskill themselves. We expecting the government to do it or the multinational to do it, it would be a little impractical and we will lose time. So my advice to possibly all the youngsters who is graduating or graduated or still working, it is you have to proactively go ahead and reskill yourself. And if we don't, it's going to be tough in the future. That's what because we have been seeing that because we are hiring a lot of people for Japan, and what I see is that because of the aging population there, and they have not reskilled themselves and things like that, there's a huge requirement for engineers, healthcare people, and huge requirement there. And these are the opportunities at an individual level we need to identify and get ready, learn the language, their culture, and move on. Expecting somebody to do the government or a multinational to do people.
For me, I also have the similar thought process, and apart from it, the industry which I'm coming from, insurance space, you know that insurance is always playing with data. Data analysis or the repetitive problem solving, such kind of jobs, the AI is really outperforming than human on a certain extent, right? But I always when I speak to my colleagues or my people, and I always talk to them, right? Rather than just focusing on only on the technical side. Of course, along with the technical side, you have to build or you have to really coach on your human-centric skills. Like, it can be emotional intelligence or leadership, collaboration skill, decision making, negotiation, and so on and so forth. These skills, which I strongly believe an AI cannot replace, a human being can only handle that, whatever the development in the AI space comes. The human emotions cannot be replaced with AI. So, when I talk to my people, I always talk to them that there are two important things you have to be trained to be competent in the current AI era. The one is the domain expertization. Domain expertization can be achieved only through the consistency. You know that some of our youngsters have a habit of jumping industry to industry, company to company for such a long time. When I speak to Mr. Ajay, or if we take myself, you can see that we've been continuing for an industry, for an organization for quite a long time. So which gives a lot of credibility, which gives a lot of domain expertization on what we are doing. Right. Along with that, our human-centric skill, as I said, the decision making or the negotiation and those kind of skills, probably AI cannot replace. And AI is definitely we need AI support or AI use case for across all the industries, right? Along with that, we have to coach our human-centric skills to develop on it. Then probably the employability of our youth will be definitely, it's promising. That's what my opinion.
Yeah, I think the subject matter expert, the domain experts. This is very valid point, I would say. If I say an example from my own organization, one of the best engineer of Cisco in our organization is not a graduate, not an engineer. He is not even past 12. So he has done the Cisco course, I think just after 10. the old days, maybe 30, 35 years back. And this person has actually still mastered all the Cisco technologies. So he's one of the best, not just in in that region in India, and even the MENA region and far. So subject matter expert, becoming a subject matter expert is much more valid and important than acquiring degrees, I would say.
That is
What
very
about you?
important.
I fully agree with both of you. As we were mentioning about, we should see AI as your friend than a threat, because today you cannot avoid the AI world. I think we need to be much smarter than AI, and we need to really skill ourselves much better. And we have to look at the global opportunity where we are at an advantage of the young age. For example, I closely work with the Japanese companies. The average age over there, as on date, is 59. Is the average? It's aging population, and the kind of opportunity we youngsters, where the average age, I suppose, about 28, 29 would be huge opportunity, but we have to really put an effort to learn the language and their culture, and getting a job over there, it's extremely easy. We have been placing people, and I feel that we should not be just looking at India. We have to explore other places where there are opportunities. But we have to stretch ourselves a little to learn the language, the culture, and we have good education here, and you will be surely placed on one of these places.
Yeah, compare with Japan, I think we are so lucky and we are a young nation. And I think we have 65% of our population is below 35. So, which means we have another 15 to 20 years to make this youth equipped and make the country as a developed nation. To become India as a developed nation, probably our per capita income has to grow from $2,800 to $12,000 to $13,000. So, which needs definitely our population or our youngsters has to be empowered with the skills, and they have to get more knowledge-based job, as we mentioned in today's discussion. And then only the per capita income of our the youth will really get increase, and which we have a maybe the time space of 15 to 20 years more, right? And for that, we have to be coach our youngsters for more skill based training program or skill based sessions like this. And especially in Kerala youth, the adaptability of multicultural, I believe it's very easy, because Kerala has a Pravasi culture already in there. Every within a two neighborhood, at least one guy will be in Middle East or somewhere outside the India. So that culture adaptability, I don't think Kerala youth will have real challenge on it. But according to that, we as industries, economic bodies and governments, and everybody should have a joint effort to coach the skill set and make our youth ready for the global employment. As I mentioned in my initial, when I answered the initial question, so I was mentioning that the global opportunity of employment is really getting increased, and we can serve companies from anywhere in the world by sitting in our villages. So that kind of technology changes, and that kind of artificial intelligence adaptability or tool changes is happening. So which we have to be equipped to face such kind of opportunities to make all our youth to become an employment. I think, I'm not remembering the exact numbers. I think the higher secondary or higher education joining percentage of Kerala youth is with the national average. I think it's 42% or something, which is higher than the national average of I think 28%. I'm not sure about the numbers, but whereas when it come to the employment side, we are actually in the unemployment side, we are above the national average of 10 to 12%. I think we are on 17 or 18%. So on the graduate side, I'm talking about. So Kerala to build our skill set in such a ways to face the or to work for the global companies with our youth, and we should develop their skill set to match with the company's expectation or the global company's expectation.
Thank you. Sir, myself Anna Chowdhury, and the editor of our Dutch media outlet called Workers Bureau. So, sir, you mentioned about the adaptability of the people into the global skill set. So, for example, let's say we have an intern who has got all the skill set, but they are working remotely. But for them to have a global exposure, they need to get their hands dirty, get on there, and get the knowledge. So, where do you think that imbalance could work over here?
I didn't understand the question completely.
Okay, so let me put it this way. So we have an intern who got into a job, an international job, who's working for, let's say, Lufthansa for a year and a half. But for them, they need to get their hands dirty, get on site, and get to have that exposure. So how do you think that could get maintained when we have an AM?
To get an on-site and those kind of things, it depends on company to company and how much that employee is required for that particular organization. Because it's all private organization. No private organization will lose an employee which is contributing to the company. Definitely, it's all about how his skilling is getting sharpened and aligned with that company's objective or company's goal. That's all about how he's going to shape with that opportunity.
Yeah, but for an international company, for them to hire someone, they always think about the fact that, okay, they need to sponsor the visa, pay for their security and all those things. Just because the fact that they don't have a visa or a PR of that particular country, they won't be able to get hired over there. So how do you think about that? Even if it is in Dubai, in UAE, people say that if you have a global visa or a golden visa, then you'll be hired over here. But that person have a skill set to do that particular job.
No, that's what I said. Basically, certain skill set, the employees is not necessary to maintain in their in the local location itself. That is what the tools or the online tools was developing in such a way that even without the language barriers, without the distance of both countries, they can manage the skills from anywhere. So, which is, if the employees or the skill is really required for a companies to be in the on-site, I don't think they don't mind to hire anyone from anywhere. As probably they can also endorse it. It depends on companies to company, right? If companies really require a manpower on according to their align with their goals and their objectives, definitely, that is how the business works.
And I also do have one more question. We again spoke about the skill set. So again, just say that we always go through all the candidates, their resumes go through the ATS. So let's say, and there's two candidates. One candidate who's a graduate from Oxford, top tier and everything, and there's another candidate who doesn't have a degree but ongoing, but they have a very good skills. They have experience of around 5 years in that industry. So how does their resume pass through the ATS? Because maybe in the ATS, the first criteria would be your bachelor's, but they don't have the bachelor's, but they have the experience. So how does that resume pass through?
So today, the ATS basically, it's not a very conventional ATS. It has a lot of AI in that. It just doesn't just process it purely on your education skill or purely on where you're from. So basically, most of the ATS, a very well-matured ATS, goes through real good criteria. If the client wants somebody who is extremely good in a particular skill, it goes off that. So, if you ask whether qualification will work or skill will work, yeah, I think the skill will work. Qualification will take a little backstage, because today any client hiring you wants you to be billable from the day one. They just don't have time to keep training you and stuff like that. Coming to your virtual part of it, see, that's what exactly I told you in the very beginning. Every employee or a person who is not employed has to take extra effort to reskill them. You can't say my company is not doing that. Because the way we are evolving, it's very, very difficult to catch if you're sitting back and waiting something to happen.
Thank you so much.
Any other question?
From Kerala, a lot of people are going to Middle East and European countries for employment. even with an aging population, Japan is not attracting many of the Kerala talents. So what are the barriers in reaching Japan? Because we have real caregivers and other people, and even in the industrial sector, we are good at industrial sector. What is preventing Malayali people from going to Japan? Is it our appearance that we don't resemble? I was told that Japanese is a very closed society. To accept outsiders is also a difficult proposition there.
Good question. So basically, Japan is very, very possessive and very particular about their culture. They will not compromise on their culture, irrespective of whatever they are going through and stuff like that. But they are opening up. So what happens is we need to adapt their culture. When the culture, I'm saying it's not really look and feel. Yes, it matters because what I find is that most of the hiring is happening from northeast of India. The reason because they look more or less the same. But that doesn't stop Malayalis or people from Kerala to get a job there. But what happens is, in Japan, let us say we have sent a lot of people from here. Now they say, hey, and they are all in one particular dormitory or room or something like that. They say, no, I cannot clean the toilet. Because in India, you have a servant, you have somebody else coming and cleaning. In a Japanese culture, you have to do everything yourself. Even in an office, there is nobody there to come and serve you coffee or take a photocopy. You have to even the CEO. So we have to culturally adapt what they are looking at, especially the language. Language is a big barrier. So nothing is stopping. I think absolutely nothing is stopping. And if I understand there is less of initiative of training, that's what I've been speaking to a couple of people in the leadership in the government, that we need to put up a Japanese village wherein you get to learn language, the culture, how they live and stuff like that. So it's not that there is no opportunity there. And we are just at the very tip of the whole, sending people. There's a huge opportunity, so don't shy away saying that people from Kerala because of the look and feel. No, it's not exactly like that. There are a lot of software engineers we are sending. Now, when it comes to healthcare, you are dealing with people who is 85, 90-year-old, and they're already psyched up in their life because of the age, the mental status, and things like that. And how to take care of them, it's very, very different. And there is a way to do that. If you're good at that, you get an employment very soon. Thank you very much for the audience. I really appreciate your time, and thanks to the panel here, Abhi and Ajay. They have done a great insight to the whole thing. Thank you. Anything else, Ajay?
Thank you very much.